Hello viewers, Jesse here from APG Nation, and today I'll be reviewing a little game called Paperbound. And just as a quick disclaimer, the code for this game was given to us to review by the developers, so big thanks to them. But with that said, on to the review. So, Paperbound is a 2D fighting / brawler game that combines elements of platforming, fast reaction combat, and even a bit of gravity manipulation, and it can all be played with friends or with bots. And what's really cool is that the main theme of the game is books, and you can tell just by the name of the game and even the main menu, which contains 5 different books, and through these books you have various different stages, which at first start out quite simple with just a few platforms and that's it. But as you play more, you end up getting on these really cool maps that have a few tricks with them, such as deadly surfaces and a few other cool elements too. And with this decently sized map variation, it allows both new players and experienced players to get their fill of fighting action. However, one point I should mention is that there seems to be a lack of detail in most of the books. There's definitely a large difference in detail when it comes to comparing the arenas in Journey to the Center of the Earth, which contains a lot of nice design elements, to the other books like Inferno, which look very basic in design and graphics. Now, this obviously isn't a major issue and it doesn't affect gameplay at all, but it would have been nice to see more variety in styles and graphics of books, because it sort of seems like they ran out of ideas when it came to the art design of the books. Now that I have said that, it's time to move on to gameplay, which is the most important part of a game like this, and I must say, well done Dissident Logic, because they have managed to create a really chaotic yet fun game. It's sort of crazy how fast paced these matches are, as every opponent is armed with scissors, ink bombs and their own melee weapon, and if you're not playing against actual other people, then you'll be playing with AI, and they are just completely ruthless. And an interesting element of fighting is that they've also added this sort of gravity manipulation, and with a simple button press you'll be jumping and bending to different surfaces at high speeds whilst also dodging enemy attacks, and it just lends to the fast paced action the game has. Now, with Paperbound being the 2D arena combat game it is, you would expect a bunch of different combatants, and just as expected there are. And you even get to choose characters from other indie games such as Monaco, Guacamelee and a few others. But what I found odd is that even though in design they're all different and look great, gameplay wise not so much. Each character has the exact same moveset, which is a shame and a missed opportunity, because it would have been great if each character had its own special move or their own unique item they could use in-game. But moving on to what will be one of the other deciding factors whether you buy this game or not is game modes, and you'll be pleased to know that there are quite a few, such as the obvious free-for-all versus mode, a capture the quill mode, which is basically capture the flag, and a few others which are all good fun and yield their own different playstyles. Now obviously some will appeal more to others, but overall each of them are great and will offer quite a few hours of fun. Last point which I want to talk about, and is always something I enjoy looking at, is sounds and music, and for this game, even though it's one of the smaller aspects of the game, it gets the job done, with nice sounds of swords clashing and parrying, scissors being thrown in the air and portals being opened and closed. There is a nice amount of attention to what you'll be hearing, but I can't really say the same for the music, as it feels a bit generic. But then again, at least each piece reflects one of the 5 books, so there is something different to listen to. Now for my verdict. Paperbound is a simple yet satisfying game with interesting fighting, fun levels even though some can be a bit bland, and a lot of characters, but they all are roughly the same. But it still doesn't stop me from saying that this game is a must buy, and I'm super happy that I can have this game in my Steam library. If you're looking for a cheap game to have a laugh with your mates and to beat the crap out of each other, then Paperbound is definitely it. But that wraps up this review, and for everything gaming news, reviews and more, keep it locked on apgnation.com.